American 11, are you trying to call?
The cockpit is not answering their phone. Our number 1 has been staffed, and our 5 has been staffed.
Hey, I'm going to call from Washington. I have a situation with American 11, a possible hijack.
What's going on, Betty? The crap is erratic again. Problems very erratic.
I had one.
Betty, talk to me. Betty, are you there? Betty? Betty?
The plane just
What?
the 737.
What?
Like the World Trade
Who are you
Center.
talking to?
United 175, New York. We have some problems over here right now. We might have a hijack over here, 2 of them.
Jules, this is Ryan. Listen, on an airplane that's been hijacked. If things don't go well, I'm going to do this. I just want you to know I absolutely love you. I want you to do good. Go have a good time. Same to my parents and everybody. And I just totally love you, and I'll see you later, Jessica. Bye, babe.
Oh my God. So both towers are now.
Okay, now I got an aircraft 6 miles east of the White House.
Hello? Crystal City, just north of Crystal City.
Just to the north of your town.
Yeah, stop all departures.
Pentagon just got hit. No for CNN. God damn it, I can't even protect my NCA.
United 93, that traffic for you is 1 o'clock, 12 miles eastbound 370.
Negative contact, we're looking United 93.
United 93, Cleveland, if you hear the center ident.
I got that piece of dog. Keep remaining steady. You have the ball, boss.
Tuesday, 9:47 a.m.
Hi, baby. Baby, you have to listen to me carefully. I'm on a plane that's been hijacked. I'm on the plane. I'm calling from the plane. I want to tell you I love you. Please tell my children that I love them very much. And I'm so sorry, babe. I hope to be able to see your face again, baby. I love you. Bye.
Number 56865. We have, I believe it is a Boeing 757. Can you see him up there, sir?
That's confirmed. It looks like he's rocking his wings.
Roger.
He's rocking back and forth.
Number 56865, I advise you stay away from that aircraft. Go north as fast as you can.
United 93, have you got information on that yet?
Yeah, he's down.
He's down?
Yes.
When did he land?
He did not land.
Oh, he's down?
Yes,
Bound?
somewhere up northeast of Camp David.
Sean, it's me. I just want to let you know I love you, and I'm stuck in this building in New York. There's lots of smoke, and I just wanted you to know that I love you always.
At number 2 World Trade Center, right. Lady was stewardess in the office. We're not ready to die, but it's getting bad.
I'm on the 83rd floor. I'm gonna die, aren't I? No. I'm gonna die.
Liv, say your prayers.
God.
We're gonna think positive because you gotta help each other get off the floor.
I'm
Now,
gonna die.
A new type of war. That's what it is.
Charlie, Manhattan.
Oh, Charlie.
I don't know what you got to do, but I want all the rescue firefighters available from home to report, okay?
10-4, we have been broadcasting that case.
We need all the help we can get.
What you just heard was audio from an event that changed the course of a nation. And like many, it changed the course of my entire life. On that morning, I was a high school student just north of New York City, watching the world that I knew fracture in an absolute instant. I was a volunteer firefighter, too young to head into the city, but old enough to feel the weight of wanting to do more. I remembered anxiously standing by at our local firehouse, making makeshift stretchers for survivors that we thought would arrive. They never did. And yet what stands out to me all these years later is not just the loss, but the unity. For a time, America stood together in a way that was powerful, even beautiful. Strangers became neighbors, neighbors became family. That day planted a seed deep inside of me. It made my path certain, and not long after, I walked right into a Marine Corps recruiting office. From that day forward, I knew that I was going to serve, and I knew something else. Leadership in crisis is not about titles. It's about the choices that we make.
We just had a plane crash into Level 4 of the World Trade Center, transmit a second alarm, and start relocating companies into the area.
Hi, and welcome to a special episode of the Everyday Diplomat, where this week we're covering the topic of September 11th, 2001, and extrapolating moments of absolute amazing leadership example through absolute tragedy. I'm Michael Forrest, a retired Marine Sergeant Major, former U.S. diplomat, and somebody who's spent over 20 years leading high-performing teams through crisis, conflict, and constant change. Over 2 decades, I've led Marines in combat zones, coordinated security at American embassies, and helped organizations find stability in moments of upheaval. And through it all, one truth has remained. Leadership in crisis doesn't come from rank. It comes from clarity, courage, and the care for the people standing right beside you. Today, we're going to look at 6 leadership lessons from September 11th, 2001 that still matter just as much now as they did then, and how you can carry them forward in your own leadership, no matter where you serve.
The World Trade Center, tower number 1 is on fire. The whole outside of the building, it was just a huge explosion.
In the early morning of September 11th, 2001, thousands of people were trapped inside of the South Tower of the World Trade Center. Amidst the smoke, the fire, the chaos, a young man appeared wearing a red bandana over his face. His name was Wells Crowther. Wells wasn't a firefighter, he wasn't a police officer, and he wasn't a military commander. He was a 24-year-old equities trader working in an office high above the city. But when the moment came, he didn't freeze. He stepped forward. Survivors remembered the calm voice cutting through the confusion. "Follow me, stay together, you'll be okay." He organized people into groups, he led them down the ladder wells, carried an injured woman on his back, and he kept moving people towards safety. And when others reached the ground, Wells didn't stop. He turned around, went back up the stairs, and climbed into danger again. He did it over and over until he was lost in the collapse. Dozens of people made it out that day because of one man in a red bandana. Someone with no title, no authority, no official role to lead, who chose to lead anyway. That's the first great lesson of 9/11. Leadership is not about rank, it's about responsibility. When I think back on my own experience, that day, standing by as a high school volunteer firefighter, making makeshift stretchers out of plywood and waiting for survivors who never came, I remember wishing that I could do more, and I made a decision that day. When the moment came, I wanted to be ready. That conviction carried me into the Marine Corps, and it still drives me today. The takeaway is this, that there will be moments in your life when no one is officially in charge, when roles blur, when fear creeps in, when people look around in every direction. In those moments, leadership belongs to the person who's willing to take it, who's willing to act. Be the calm voice, make the next step clear, and then take it.
Engine 1 out, World Trade Center, 1060. Send every available ambulance, everything you got to World Trade Center now.
Leadership in crisis doesn't start in the crisis, it starts long before. Another powerful example from 9/11 was Rick Rescorla, the head of security for Morgan Stanley in the South Tower. Rick was a Vietnam veteran, a man who had seen combat and knew exactly how quickly chaos could take over a dangerous situation. And because of that, he drilled his people relentlessly. He made thousands of employees practice fire evacuations over and over again. Executives complained, employees rolled their eyes. People felt like it was a waste of time, but Rick didn't bend. He believed that the only way that people would stay calm in a true emergency was if the steps were second nature. On that morning of 9/11, when the first plane struck the North Tower, Morgan Stanley employees were ready. Rick's voice came over the loudspeaker. "This is not a drill. Everybody get out." And because they had practiced so many times, they moved with clarity instead of panic. Thousands evacuated the building. Rick didn't stop there. He kept moving people, kept steadying nerves, even sang songs into the bullhorn to keep spirits up. And when most had made it out, he went back in to help more. Rick Rescorla did not make it out that day, but because of his preparation, more than 2,600 others did. That's the second greatest lesson of 9/11. You don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the level of your training. Preparation feels inconvenient. Drills are going to feel annoying. Repetition's going to be boring, but in the moment of truth, it's what saves you. And it's not just true in emergencies. It's true in business, in teams, and in families. When I think back to my time in the Marine Corps, this was the constant drumbeat. Rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. Immediate action drills, evacuation routes, communication checks. We trained so hard, not because we loved it, but because we knew when the pressure hit, the brain defaults to what it's done before. The takeaway is this: preparation is leadership. If you're responsible for people, go ahead and run the drill. Test the plan. Repeat it until it feels routine. In a crisis, panic fills the space left by unpreparedness, while discipline fills that space left by good leaders.
George, have them mobilize the Army. We need the Army in Manhattan.
All right, all units stand by. Everybody try to calm down. Manhattan's a field calm case.
When everything is confusing, the first job of a good leader is to create clarity. On September 11, 2001, FDNY Battalion Chief Joseph Pfeifer was one of the first senior fire officers to arrive at the World Trade Center. In fact, he was on a routine call nearby when he saw the first plane strike the North Tower. He immediately directed his crew into action and moved to the tower's lobby to establish command. Think about the scene. People flooding out, alarms blaring, confusion absolutely everywhere. Chief Pfeifer didn't have the luxury of time, perfect information, or even a neat checklist, but what he did have was presence. He stood firm, built a command post, and began giving orders that others could execute without hesitation. Simple, clear, direct. Assign resources here, evacuate floors there, keep comms open. It wasn't loud, flashy leadership. It was calm in the chaos, and calm is incredibly contagious. That's the third great lesson of September 11th, 2001. Leaders create clarity when everything else feels uncertain. As a Marine and as a firefighter, I've seen how this works in real time. When bullets are flying or when smoke fills a room, people don't follow the person with the biggest rank. They follow the person who makes the next step absolutely obvious. Command presence isn't about yelling louder. It's about being steady enough that other people anchor to you. It's about using plain language, making decisions that people can act on immediately, and repeating the priorities until everybody knows them cold. Here's what you can use today. Go ahead and establish the scene. What's happening? What matters here? And what's next? Define roles very clearly. One sentence each. Confirm ownership. Set rally points and communication channels. Repeat them until nobody forgets. And keep a cadence of updates, even if the update is no change. Clarity is a form of care. In crisis, it's the most practical type of courage. If you want to be the leader that others trust, start by making their world less confusing.
We have a number of floors on fire. It looked like the plane was aiming towards the building. Transmit a third alarm. We'll have the staging area at Vesey and West Street. Have the third alarm assignment go into that area. Second alarm assignment report to the building, Kay.
All right, 10-4. Second alarm assignment, report to the World Trade Center. Second alarm assignment, report to 1 World Trade Center.
When roads closed, tunnels jammed, and the subway shut down, nearly 500,000 people were stranded at the southern tip of Manhattan on September 11, 2001. Smoke was rising, bridges and ferries were cut off. People were desperate to escape. The U.S. Coast Guard issued a simple call over the radio. All available boats report to New York Harbor to help evacuate people. And the harbor responded. Ferries, tugboats, dinner cruise boats, fishing vessels, even private sailboats all turned towards Manhattan. Captains and crew began loading as many people as they could fit, shuttling them across the river to safety. No one waited for a formal assignment. They saw the need, understood the mission, and they acted. In less than 9 hours, they evacuated more than 500,000 people. It's the largest maritime evacuation in history, larger than Dunkirk, larger than anything anyone had ever trained for before. And it happened because strangers became teammates, because unity became operational. That's the fourth great lesson of 9/11. When roles blur, responsibility expands. Unity is not sentimental, it's strategic. Think about it. There was no perfect org chart for this. There was no time to design one. Instead, a clear intent traveled fast. Get people out. Professionals at the edge acted first, and command didn't smother them, it synchronized them. This is what real unity looks like. People from different backgrounds, different companies, even different purposes, moving together towards one clear goal. And here's what we can learn from it today. Issue simple, plain language intent that anybody can act on. Empower the edge. Let the closest capable person take the very first step. Coordinate without clutter. One channel, one coordinator, frequent check-ins. Measure success by outcomes and not by process. I was just a teenager watching the news, but what I remember about that moment is how quickly people stepped into action. Not because somebody told them, but because it was the right thing to do. Unity isn't just a feeling, it's a decision, and in crisis, it's what makes the impossible possible.
I'm not announcing any division or any staff chief at the scene of the World Trade Center, okay? Any division chief or any staff chief at the scene of any of the World Trade Centers, okay? The Mobile Command Center, okay?
Mobile Command to Manhattan, okay? This is 26 acting at the command post to Manhattan, okay? Mobile Command Center to Manhattan, okay?
All right, Mobile Command Center, what chief do you have at your Mobile Command Center, okay?
Negative on anything, okay? Right now we're all alone. The second building came down. I can't see, so we have no contact with anybody at this time, okay?
10-4.
You know, some of the most powerful stories from 9/11 aren't about those who were assigned to be there. They are about those who chose to go. Jason Thomas and Dave Karnes were both former Marines. On September 11th, 2001, neither of them was in uniform. They weren't on orders, but when the towers fell, both men made the same decision. Go. Thomas grabbed his gear and headed straight for Manhattan. Karnes put on his pressed Marine uniform, cut his hair short on the way, and drove up from Connecticut. They met on the pile, two strangers with the same instinct, the same training, and the same sense of duty. Together, they climbed into the rubble. Amid the smoke and the twisted steel, they located two trapped Port Authority officers, Will Jimeno and John McLaughlin. They called for rescuers, directed the team in, and ultimately helped save those officers' lives. No one told them to do it. They didn't wait for permission. They just saw the need and they acted. That's the fifth great lesson of 9/11. Don't wait to be told. Just do the next right thing. Leadership in crisis is often about initiative, the willingness to step forward, even when you don't have the full picture, the courage to move when others hesitate, and the judgment to act with purpose and not recklessness. In the Marines, this principle was drilled into us from the very beginning. When in doubt, take action. Even a partial solution is better than paralysis, because hesitation in crisis is going to cost lives. Here's how you can apply this lesson today. Go ahead and adopt triggers to act. Decide in advance that if this happens, we're going to do that. Go ahead and state intent clearly. Do it out loud. Here's what I see, here's what I'll do, and here's how you can help. Then pair up. Initiative doesn't mean going at it alone. It means checking in, covering each other, keeping communication short and frequent. Then hand off well. When specialists arrive, transfer information and shift to a supportive role. Initiative isn't recklessness. It's care for the people beside you when seconds matter. And it's one of the most important traits that any leader can practice in crisis or in calm.
Deputy Command Post Manhattan.
Deputy Command Post.
Request the Deputy Chief if one's available to come to Trinity and Liberty so we could organize a search plan, okay?
Is there any Deputy Chief available at the scene of the World Trade Center? Any Deputy Chief?
The final lesson of 9/11 is this. Remembrance is not enough. Memory has to become responsibility. For weeks after that day, America was united in a way that almost felt magical. Flags flew from porches, blood donations lines wrapped around city blocks. Strangers helped strangers without hesitation, and while the grief was real, so was the unity. That unity was leadership, millions of small acts that made the unbearable a little bit more bearable. But here's the truth. Unity fades if it's not renewed. Courage, preparation, clarity, and initiative are just words unless they're practiced, and honoring 9/11 means carrying those lessons forward into how we live and lead today. That's the sixth great lesson. Honor through action. For me, that action began when I walked into a Marine Corps recruiting office, knowing that I was going to serve. And in the years since, I've carried the conviction that leadership is about courage in the face of fear, clarity in the face of confusion, and care in the face of loss. But this isn't just my story. Every leader, every one of you watching, has the same choice: to turn remembrance into action, to turn lessons into habit, to honor the past by how you lead right now in the present. So let me give you something practical, a 30-day leadership commitment that you can start right now today. Over the next 30 days, run one 10-minute drill with your team, your business, or even your family. Identify a rally point and then 2 backups. Then write a 3-sentence crisis plan that anybody could follow under stress. Establish one primary communications channel and test a backup, and set a rhythm for check-ins. Identify 2 people that you can serve quietly this month, then follow through. Share one of the stories from this episode with your team and then tie it to a concrete habit that you want them to pick up. These are simple actions. They're not grand gestures, but when practiced, they honor the spirit of those that we lost by building stronger, steadier leaders today. Because leadership in crisis isn't about titles. It's about the choices that we make. Choices that can save lives, change teams, and shape the future. So let us remember, let us honor, and let us carry that story forward, not only in silence and ceremony, but in the way that we lead every single day. Thank you very much for joining us today, and we hope we'll see you on the next video.
I want you all to know it can't go any louder. I want you all to know that America today is on bended knee in prayer for the people whose lives were lost here, for the workers who work here, for the families who mourn. This nation stands with the good people of New York City and New Jersey and Connecticut as we mourn the loss of thousands of our citizens. I can hear you. I can hear you, the rest of the world hears you, and the people who knock these buildings down will hear all of us soon. The nation sends its love and compassion to everybody who is here. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for making the nation proud. And may God bless America.
Let's get back a little bit, folks. Man, don't get this one wrong.